I had an idea to pay people that didn't have their high school diploma. Let's say, for example, it was a GED. So, Ash, I think somebody has been lying to us, and I don't know exactly who it is.
Hmm.
And because we keep hearing, we've been talking about this job apocalypse, right? We call it the job apocalypse. And we've been going on and on about, yes, it's happening. And I'm getting conflicting pieces of information. I'll give you an example, Ash. So, did you see? I sent you over where it says Canada, let's say. Now, I know this is not us, but they're just like across Detroit, right? So, Canada goes AI for all with a $200 billion plan. And that their big deal is that they're going to be launching a plan to create 250,000 new AI jobs. Now, we've got more information. And I think, as I shared this information with you a while ago, you saw some stuff. So, what are you getting out there? What are you hearing? Because we got to tell our audience something, man. Is there a job apocalypse? What do y'all say?
So here's the thing. And this is kind of where the gap is a little bit, right? Because the economy is sending some mixed signals. I'm just going to put that out there, right? Because
Bad
they say the
relationship
job
with
market is doing well, right? And then you're like, wait a minute, but why is it so hard for some of us to get jobs? Like, what does that look like? And so, what I have learned is that the AI jobs that are being created, we have to step into them to get those jobs, but they're not quite here yet. We're still working towards that. So the jobs that are out there are not necessarily, they're more so entry level and not the high paying roles, which is where the discrepancy is happening. So the jobs that are available, let's say they're not exactly that high living wage that you absolutely need for this economy. But then you also say you got a big wave of these AI jobs that are coming, but they're not quite here yet. So I feel like it's more of a prediction there as far as what that looks like. So again, y'all, it's about leaning in, learning more about those AI jobs. So once they really hit, you can jump right into them. But right
Yeah.
now you're in between. So the answer to that, I know I went on around the world, y'all, but the answer directly is yes and no. There are jobs that are available. So it's not quite the job apocalypse, but they're not necessarily what you need to sustain. We'll just say that. And there's more jobs coming, but you got to be prepared by leaning into gaining those skill sets in AI.
Yeah, and we've heard that kind of stuff before. Even when, let's just go back. Railroads affected a lot of other stuff.
Hmm.
Cars affected those people that were building horses and carriages, and not building horses, but y'all
Yeah,
know what I mean.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
were building the all this different stuff. And then those jobs came and people either, went into those jobs or their kids did. So I'm really curious about what are y'all doing out there right now? Has it affected you? Is there really a job apocalypse? I mean, or are you just like, hey, everything's normal? So in the comments, put some information in there if you're seeing cool things happening or if you're going, it is a shit show out here and I got laid off and I'm not coming back to that same. Y'all let us know. I can tell you that people that I know that have been displaced, and this is, live information, it is extremely hard to get that next thing. Now, because we do what we do here at Ashran Career Solutions, it's in our name, solutions, not
Hmm.
services, solutions, is that when we talk about reskilling,
Hmm.
right? And one of the things, Ash, that we had talked about was the rapid reemployment thing, right? So when we say, well, what would that look like? Well, now it looks like rapid reemployment because you're going to need these skills.
Hmm.
So we're even toying with the idea of putting together an assessment so you can see, well, here's where here's the skills I have, and what can I do to rapidly get reemployed because now I have some skills. And then there's this one special thing I think we can share with the audience, but this one special thing that I have been thinking a lot about. Now, Ashley and I, she's been on vacation.
On vacation, working, y'all. I've been working.
and then man of leisure. So, but this one special thing is how can we put something together that is not only an assessment, but then speaks to how we can get you really rapidly reskilled. So I started thinking rapid reemployment and then the rapid reskilling.
Okay.
So how might that look? So we're putting some of that together, but we got to know first, is this thing called the job that's supposed to be happening to you? So y'all in the comments, if you're brand new to the channel, like and subscribe. Of course, we leave stuff in the description field for you so that you can jump over into different things. Tell us, what are you thinking? But Ash, did you see that one I sent you? That one I sent you said, hiring surged well beyond expectations in May. And I said, wait, what? What were your thoughts when you saw that?
It was so interesting because at first I was thinking, like, what kind of jobs were those with that hiring surge, right? Like, it was just that it overmeant. But it really made me think about what is the detail is that, how quickly, what is the skill sets, what are the requirements. And so I'm like, I was just blown away that during this time in the job market that they had so many applicants that were able to step into these roles. What was that surge look like? So I needed more information on that one. So that's kind of what I saw. I didn't really get to the deets of that.
And you actually said, honestly, other countries have been ahead when it comes to workforce development.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't surprise you that Canada is trying to fix it. Now, I'm personally affronted by this. Why? What do you mean Canada's doing something? I thought we didn't like Canada anymore, or whatever. So think about this, y'all. If you got all these other countries that are kind of like saying, hey, our head's out of the sand, this thing is happening. And okay, camera, settle down there, sir. Y'all, the AI camera likes to do what its own thing, and it says, I think I need to come in close. But anyway, so if Canada and other countries, like you said, are doing these different things, then I think it might be up to us. Literally, people like us, other companies like us that are out there saying, we're going to get you good.
And you know what's so crazy, Randy, is that when we talk about other countries' models and how they're fulfilling the job apocalypse, I wanted to pinpoint really quick about Germany. Really quick. Germany has this really cool earn and learn models as they are filling in the workforce. And I want to lean on that just a little bit because DOL just provided some funding for some earn and
Who's
learn
DOL?
apprenticeship models. The
What's that?
Department of
Department of
Labor.
Labor?
Yes, the Department of Labor just dispersed some fundings. I think it was
What's it called?
35 million, not sure, between that. But it was millions of dollars towards apprenticeship models that also include AI training.
Get in on that.
And so I
I'm looking
think,
it up right now, y'all.
yes, and a lot of other
145 million?
countries have already been doing that. They've already been doing that, and that's something that America now is starting to acquire. But Earn and
Yeah,
Learn has been, and so just to kind of explain Earn and Learn, y'all, essentially it's in the name. You're earning while you're learning a new trade or a new
that's so
skill.
good.
And so you don't have to worry about, okay, going, because that was the main barrier, going back to school and not being able to go to work. And so that covers that, right? So not only that you're earning a living wage, you're also growing your skill set. And so they think this is a new wave of rebuilding the workforce is using the earn and learn models. And now they're trying to integrate AI training a part of that. And I think that's amazing. And so, like I said, other countries have already been doing that, like Germany, and possibly Canada. So now it's time for America's turn to really take heed into rebuilding the workforce with those kind of models.
That's interesting. It's the duality asable. I can't say that. Dual vocational training.
Yes.
So I used to have this idea. Get this, right? Y'all can come here and get ideas too, because it is not only career. We talk about business and we talk about life stuff, but we just concentrate on the career stuff so we don't mess up the algorithm. But anyway, so I used to have this thing when I was over at the Urban League, working at the Urban League. I had an idea to pay people that didn't have their high school diploma. Let's say, for example, it was a GED. And so I thought, what is the biggest reason why so many people quit doing the, GED? I think it's general equivalency diploma or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's because they had to go and work, man. They had to get out of school, depending on their situation, and go work. And they said, forget about it. I'm making money. I'm not going back to school. And then came a time, of course, where, hey, to get in certain jobs, you needed a high school diploma at least. And I thought, man, that's going to be a tough one. And knowing that I used to work with folks that were in GED situations or coming out of incarceration situations, and that was the thing that was lacking. And I says, what if we paid them
Yeah.
for something like this? And of course, that thinking then expanded to, well, couldn't we pay them to go to high school? Because there was a year that in my town here, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, that there was a high school that barely graduated. It was a ridiculous number. I think it was double digits, not high double digits. Anyway, so, and that's because I don't know why. Maybe people had to go to work or whatever it is, right? And so I started thinking, I says, can't we pay people to go to high school? Why wouldn't
Ah,
we?
that's interesting.
And of course, that went nowhere because people are like, we can't do that. They should want to go to high school and it's a privilege to, I'm like, man, forget all that. Right. And then we got to go. I says, give people enough to get incentivized to come to school, or in the GED situation, get the GED. Hey, I'm going to get paid. Yeah. And they had some programs that were incentivizing that way. So when I hear this earn and learn, allow you to learn a skill, trade, or profession while working for a German company. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant. My son, when he went to college, as a part of their program, you had to go to work.
Yep.
And,
Absolutely.
and it was like a 5-year program, not 4 years, engineering program. And so you got connected. As soon as you came in, you got connected with a company. What ends up happening, you earn a couple of bucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, that school was expensive.
Oof. I
But he
can
was able
imagine.
to reduce out any of his costs, but get practical experience. You know how to handle your money, you get out. Now we're seeing some of those same concepts with even the IRL, right? I'm sorry, IRL in real life. No, NIL. So now these kids are getting out of college and they're going, well, I know how to handle millions of dollars. I did it in school. And I could stay in school. If I was a college kid, I'd never come out of school. I'll be like the 8th year senior. You know how you can have like these red shirt? I'd red shirt every year if I could. And you're
Listen,
seeing that. Why? Because they're earning a good living.
absolutely.
Then they go to the pros, but by that time, they may rich. They may be rich. They got insurance. They got all these different things. They fed their families. And get this, and the pro team gets a better, more prepared, more mature player.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? And so anyway, I say all that to say, y'all, when we're talking about this job apocalypse stuff, we're doing our part.
Oh, yeah.
Ash Rand is going to be coming up with stuff to help you to be, maybe we can point you into some different directions on here's what skill to go to, here's what's happening. We're going to put some assessments in front of you. We're not going to do it today, but we're going to put some assessments in front of you so you can kind of find out where you're at.
Yeah.
If you need that reskilling, and then we'll point you to some things that we do and maybe some things that other people do. I don't know. We got to do something about it because we cannot, as Americans, as a United States Americans, fall behind some of these other places for no reason.
I mean, and not just that though. Like, we want to make sure that you guys can live the lifestyles that you truly want, right? Having that living sustainable wage, and it's important to know what skill set you need, right, to be able to step into that. So it's important to make that impact. It'll
Yeah.
get you exactly what you need.
Did you say you had something that you wanted to share? Because I
Yes,
got
I was going to
this one
talk a
thing.
little bit about, because you talked about earning, and I remember, because I just came from the Gulf Coast, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, learning about different pathways there and earn and learn models. And it was this one success story this individual was telling me about, because I met with some colleges there. He was like, yeah, one of my students, 21-year-old electrician, earning six figures, living with his mom, asked him, like, I don't even know what to do with all of this money. And
That's
I thought that
wild.
was so interesting because if I was a 21-year-old earning six figures,
It would be a wrap. The compounding rate, you put that money, just live on half of it.
yeah,
Half of it. And and put it in some nice like a any little thing, index funds, whatever it is. BlackRock is a really good one. Vanguard is a really good. They've been beating the marketplace. Da da da, and that compounding works. So next thing you know, you're like 40 and retired. I retired the first time when I was like 40 something.
see, and now y'all probably want to know, how do I get like that 21-year-old kid? It's about acquiring the right skills. So taking that
Yep.
assessment that
Yep.
Randy and I are talking about,
Yeah, we'll
we
put it out
get you
there for
there.
y'all. So, okay, Ash, this next one says the stock market may be becoming a victim of its own success.
Yeah.
This chief marketing strategist at Ritz Holtz Wealth Management said the job market has turned around, yet the threat of persistent high inflation seems to be the risk of looming on everyone's mind. So they're just coming up with different things. Well, this is good, but this
Okay.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So look, either way it goes, when we know that you're constantly staying curious, when you're constantly trying new things, and that you're out there dipping your toes into what's coming up next, it's just preparation for you. That's why, we like in Ashran, we like to say, yeah, we talk about career, but then there's this business and then there's this life stuff. And I like to prepare everybody that if something happens to the job, you got a business to fall back on. Now, the business may not be burning up the world, but it could be enough to have you get this somewhere where you can earn a couple bucks, but somewhere mostly where you can apply your new skills,
Mm-hmm.
try different things. That's what I really like starting businesses for, is if a job gets you enough to pay the bills, then a business could be enough to pay your soul, because your soul wants to do more than maybe what the job has you doing. You could just be in there
So
like filing papers or whatever. You're like, this is soul crushing. But yet you start a little business and the business says, yeah, now we get to learn some stuff. We get to apply some stuff. We get to have some fun. We get to talk to some people. We get to whatever.
mm-hmm.
That's why we want you doing a majority of these things so that you can apply them in a variety of ways. Ashley's been in business. She's got a business now. I've got businesses. We do it all the time. And
Yeah.
then I'm a 1099er, so I don't have a 9 to 5 thing, right? Not W-2, but Ashley goes to work and she's happy. They pay
Yes.
her well. She gets to travel, gets to go to Hawaii.
No, y'all, it's with me also running a business and being a W-2. It was essential that I found something that aligns with the business for me to learn and grow. And I'm building pathways across Hawaii and the Gulf Coast, so it makes me very excited for what I do. So it's the life, and I'm trying to get y'all to come here too, doing something y'all love and y'all passionate about while making the
Yeah,
money, getting the
yeah,
funds.
yeah. That's why we want to be an example for you. Okay, so here's another one. Now, this is closer to home, I think. Google's philanthropic arm, Google.org, commits 50 million to train 300,000 skilled trade workers across the U.S. Now, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of in your space, right?
Yeah.
Amid a shortage of workers for AI projects. Now, when they say AI projects, they're talking about these darn data centers. And
Yeah.
they're talking,
Yeah.
and that's it's gotten so controversial. I mean, they're bombing these things. It's just bad because, well, that's the fear mongers.
Yeah.
Some of
It's
the fear mongers are out there saying, yeah, we don't want this. So we're going to make sure you don't build it. And we're like, wait, what? Makes no sense. But it's happening. Why? Because people with time on their hand. I don't know why. It just boggles my mind. But we cannot fall behind some of these other countries.
we can't. We can't. And y'all know because Google putting all this money into those skilled trades because again with AI it needs physical infrastructure, right? So that creates another job. That goes back to that student success story I just mentioned about electricians because that's what they're looking for. Electricians, welders, maintenance techs, all those, right? To kind of keep it going. And I think that's why they're making that investment amongst losing some of those repetitive roles to AI. They know they need a mixture of skill set, and so that's why they're investing very hard at this moment.
So if you used to be a coder, you can maybe become an electrician. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Plumbers, they're gonna need a lot of plumbers. They need builders. Need
Yeah.
people to understand that stuff. And now we've got these AI tools that'll help us. I'm just saying, when you start thinking, and we do this a lot, when you're thinking about, okay, what's the next thing that's coming that is that allows you to apply certain skills. You don't have to be a coder now. A lot of the tools are doing a lot of the coding. You don't have to do that kind of stuff. And you don't have to become a ditch digger either. Could you learn to invest? Could you see what I mean? We're talking about reskilling. So could you learn to be a person that sits on the edge? And this is what I do every day is I'll sit and I'll just watch stuff happening. I'll read about, 4 or 5 different newsletters a day, and I'll see something. I go, that's interesting. And I'll see if I can build something, put it out there, and see if it can make me a couple of bucks. Put some affiliate marketing stuff behind it. That is going a little bit deep, but I'm
Yeah.
nerding out for y'all. I'm sorry. But that becomes what we think about as a new kind of skill as a result of what's happened.
Oh, yeah.
A new kind of skill as a result of what's happened. So is that possible? I don't know. I just like to explore some stuff, Ash. What do you think?
I think so too. The more and more you constantly explore, and you can essentially create your own pathways too, but it takes about learning and what's coming down the turnpike. And as we've been singing the same song and dance because we know it's true, when it's come down to AI, I think that's a definitely new wave, and that's a wave that you can pave, right? Once you figure out anytime that there is a demand for anything, you definitely can be the supply. So you always want to keep that in mind.
That's a good one. It's like if you think about this like the gold rush. Somebody says, "Hey, well, who made money in the gold rush? It was the people out there with the pans, and they were out there finding gold in them dar hills. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It was the people that was selling picks, they were selling shovels, was selling like, oh, and you got the pick and the shovel, but you keep ripping up your pants. So we created this thing called denim. It's tough. So people that were selling pants and overalls and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of information around. Can you be on the side of creating or investing in these things? Right? Can you take your experience? This is something I've been helping a lot of people with. Is I've been helping them, and I said, hey, bring some of your AI, and some of them are AI, antagonists. They just can't stand it. Oh my gosh, AI is it lost my job. My wife lost her job because of AI, whatever, and they're mad. But then they use it, and then I says, here, let me show you how to use it differently. Let me show you how to look at it and call it your thinking partner. Let me show you how to prompt it in a particular way or say a certain thing in a particular way to get you exactly what you want. But the main thing is bring it, and I'm going to help you use it. Because here's what AI has been doing. It's been giving people this belief that they got wings or something. Oh my gosh, my AI. They never talked this way before, and all I see is like, that ain't you. You don't talk like that. I'm like, I know you from
AI
around the way. You
representative.
don't talk like that, but so hey, no harm, no foul.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's
It
something
is
that
what it
helps you
is.
express yourself,
Mm-hmm.
great. If you express yourself unlike you ever have before, awesome. Because now, again, with your wings, we just don't want you to think those are real wings. So don't be going off no buildings and saying, I can fly. No, you can't.
Yeah, yeah.
But what you could do is maybe learn everything that goes into flying. And because you learned everything that goes into flying, now you can have a different kind of conversation with people because you have reskilled and upskilled yourself in a weekend.
Yeah.
I do this now, Ash. I'll take And I want all y'all tell me what you think in the comment section. If you go, oh man, that's old, we doing that. But I will literally, if I have an area that I want to know about, and I go, I want to know about this area, but I don't know about it now. So I'll have a page built. I'll build a whole page instead of sitting there with a whole bunch of books and all that. I ain't doing that no more. I just go, hey, find out everything you can about this, put it on an HTML page, and then I look at the HTML page because it's visual while I'm walking and all these different things. And it gives me a different experience. I learn faster. Then, and we're not going to talk about this one, but then I take that page and I do some other things with it. And I
Okay.
go, if I learned it, can I maybe share it with others and they can learn it too? I'm just putting y'all up on some game. Just trying to put y'all up on some game. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now you go, wait, not only can I use it for my own productivity, but I can mix in what I know, what you've learned over the years and years and years. Even if you got laid off, you're sitting on the, you could go, wait, I could take this big brain, mix it with that super big brain, and then we can be a mega brain.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we can have some really good effects on society.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping that we're able to pull out of you and encourage you and inspire you and motivate you. Hopefully you come across this and go, oh, who are these people over here talking? And you see and go, wait, that's possible. And then we'll leave you some links or whatever for you can go deeper if you want to. I don't think if we haven't built our community yet and everybody's kind of going the community route and whatever, they're going over here to school or whatever. I'm not doing all that. But we may at least give you an opportunity to come into and talk with others, maybe in a cohort kind of a thing. We're still exploring some of those things. But if you want to go deeper, learn more, stick around. Comment, talk to us, share it with others. We would love if you would do that. And then just be on the lookout for more stuff that we're rocking out here. We typically come on every week, unless we get busy.
Yeah, but
But
usually
we
it's every.
typically get out there every week
Yeah.
and bring you some good stuff, some things to think about, and some things to do.
Yeah.
What else have we got for 'em, Ash?
No, just guys, put what you need in the comments, and we will be sure to produce just that. Because it's important that we give you exactly what you need here on Ash Rand Career Solutions. Big on the solutions.
We help you solve stuff. We
Mm-hmm.
don't just give you no information. Anyway, y'all know what I mean. All right,
Yep.
we'll see you on the next one, y'all.
Yep.
Peace.